Political Bunker 3. What's up, baby? Bang, bang. I'm gonna do one more rap tonight. My position in my mortality is as ever uncertain because of the most unqualified and deluded idiots of all time. Hilariously, I'm gonna start doing top mortality threat updates based on proximity. Based on my last update, I can't even really rap to this because I have to turn it down to volumes 7 or 8. And I put on 9 and it immediately starts banging on the wall and playing cop sounds, threatening to call the police on me, even though I'm paid up, as he would put it. And even if I were, what would it fucking matter? This guy has the hugest karmic debt ever by fucking shipping my dad to a Scotland military base for owing him the equivalent of a few $100 CAD. Wife. And I have to tell you, even if that didn't happen, it's so hilariously, geniusly sci-fi. That's how I see everything I'm doing, preparing to write the second book of the infinite universe. Elephant Tusk, or How Human Beings May Have, Will Have, Became to Be Free, really is the first book of the infinite universe, because I actually did go beyond the universe in some sort of cataclysmic state in 2017. I want to keep saying that, like, 2374 PKD. But it sounds more like a declassified file because I'm basically looking at myself now because I can look at myself through any lens. I never really look at myself though because I'm too busy staring at life like animals and sensory beings are supposed to do if they're designed correctly. I always used to joke, actually I only joked one time, but that's how we talk, that there's this like little guy on a hill, he's looking up at the sky, shaking his fist, he says, God, if I'm made in your image, you have a lot of explaining to do. Wife. That's basically human psychology somehow. Just let it hit you in the back of the head like I'm gonna hit Grimes from the back perpetually. I'm demanding Grimes as financial compensation from all of reality for everything I've gone through for your fucking asses, assholes. Wife. I want to explain my top priority threat right now. Proximity is I've been randomly tossed onto a Geyser comet thread by energetic alignment. I left a bunch of detonation bombs and claimed it was the true greatest mystics ever. She went onto my Facebook. She's an old Buddhist nun. And I said that she's too horny for me, so that's why she's mad. And now she's being held at CIA gunpoint just because I subscribed to her channel. It's like the great. She's not even mad because it's the greatest sudden haphazard go on of her life. Wife. And I have to do that to make it clear to JSR I don't care that you're at gunpoint, bitch. God doesn't care about the universe. Wife. And I don't mean when I talk about God, I have to make that clear. This Advaita Vedanta ideology is one of the most pernicious and toxic influences on all of mystical culture. Mysticism, as I keep repeating, means a scientific way and of experiencing and what will happen if you do certain things for no reason. Why? And that's what science means. And basically, financial compensation, ching ching, means rekarma. I redefine karma because the Buddha was a fucking rapist. Wife. Gautama Siddhartha Buddha went into a town, past some random ox cart on his view of death and destruction in the neighboring valleys, that they said it was a long drawn out dramatic apocalyptic Bible scene. What actually happened is he walked out from the courtyard. He was a prince till he was 17. He walked out, he went like 10 kilometers. No, just kidding, like 30 meters down this one road in ancient rural China, believe it or not. It was obviously in a different position. It was like 3000 BC. Tectonic plates move more than historians believe they do. More homework. Wife. I said wife exasperated because she is so tired, probably, if it's consciously or unconsciously true, symbolically or literally. Because she's been up for like 4 days staring at my Twitter feed, being fucked in the back of her brain and making it ultra galactic. Because all my come-ons obviously are also infused with radioactive sludge, as people are calling it. Wife. And they have to call it sludge because they see some higher, pure energy in these forms of transmissions, which means they've all been duped beyond any possible belief. Because there's no such thing as holy men. All holy men are con men. Yuji said this, but he didn't say it directly enough. What you have to know, Yuji Krishnamurti was always literally held at gunpoint by CIA. In between these videos, all the people that know him will confirm, CIA fucking operatives would come to his house in Switzerland, knock on the door. He would open it. He would put up his hands and say, "You've got me." That's what he would do every day. Basically, he's an innocent guy like me. I always say I'm an innocent guy, and everyone hates me for it. When you're innocent, karmically, the entire species, due to some sort of evolutionary hiccup, I don't say brain malfunction like he said, or disease of consciousness or whatever. He was pissed off because nobody was listening to him and were functionally incapable of listening to him due to some image of an old Indian sage. Wife. Even though he said constantly there's no psyche or soul or spirituality or being at all apart from the direct experience of life, he was also trying too hard to be sci-fi and badass. Wife. And that should be obvious to anyone that's listened to him extensively. Things are sort of vibrational energies. All these mystics need more fucking psychedelics. So you can actually feel nature all around you. Wife. And I have to say, I'm basically vying for Grimes' pussy, and I want to be able to say pussy to a random girl. That's how people perceive her, without her being judged for not blocking me, because she's perfectly capable of hitting a block button, you false feminist. One of my main fucking enemies right now, I have to say enemies, are these false feminists like Gallagher. Basically, even if they weren't mostly cannibalizing women emotionally, their fucking whole ideology is that if you just tell a female, a biological female, because I've been pressurized so much by these people, that even though I had the most centered view ever, that I'm just going to start saying exactly what they want me to say. They can just call me a transphobic piece of shit or whatever they want to call me. Wife. So capable of losing track, and it seems like I lost track a lot. I never lose a track because I'm on one single track, and I want to keep saying track because I'm aware she's gonna get viciously horny if I keep saying track because she likes Ableton Live. Wife. And basically these feminists say if you just tell a female she can do anything for being a female, no matter what risks or obstacles or contradictions or challenges in her life, that she'll be able to accomplish it, and that won't at all delude her and make her functionally incapable and probably put her in danger in this world. Why? Same goes for children, because you need to start telling your children about sex to prepare them to process reality. You have to understand I can completely revolutionize psychology in a single phrase, that traumatic buildup needs to be cured by accurate reality processing. They have this whole fucking psychiatric idea that you need to gingerly steptoe around words like rape. People get raped all the time. People are dying all the time. Why? falling short of conscious rape because I've been knocked out every time I've ever been raped. Maiming, torture, or bodily limb removal. I've had the craziest life ever, and I process it completely. I really am processing it completely just because I sit around and let myself process it. And I've activated some sort of, if you want to call it, cataclysmic thing inside my being where it just keeps evolving on its own like a self-generating system. And I want to run through very quickly a little masterpiece from my Facebook channel, Seep Saber, and no longer active on Seep Saber Love, and my YouTube channel, Post-Alchemist on FB Zeebs, and Twitter, Zebra with the same logo as Seep Saber, and Individual on Spotify, in parentheses, I am Individual. I want to be famous. It's possible to be a mystic and want to be famous. Why? And it's possible to want things even when you don't want things, because wanting is just a directional movement of energy. And by that I don't mean anything thin or gaseous or vaporous. I mean the natural organic flow and tides of organic creatures. I'm forcing everyone to tune into an instinctual awareness because, like a sword through the head, data is inaccurate. Why? I have to tell you, basically, people die all the time. I consider this one of my most important insights a day. I want to keep repeating. I have new insights every fucking few seconds because I'm not miserable and retarded like all of you pieces of shit. Fuck you for hurting the planet Earth. Why? But people die all the time. I want you to understand this. First, I'm going to remix it a bit. Narendra, one of the worst case studies of Dharma schizophrenia I've ever come across in my life. Please read the complete breakdown of Narendra Datta's complete diagnostic and full exam of his Dharma schizophrenia on my Facebook. Is titled slightly differently. I'm incapable of saying the same things over and over again, because I'm in this state where I'm just constantly happening forward rather than stuck in time. And that's also a ripoff of my own work, like all these things like B, who created the worst karmic act of all time by trying to fuck me over because I wouldn't go down and fuck him in a cabin in Saudi. Why? Just because I was being persecuted at the start of a totalitarian movement pandemic. And it really was, and I'm actually the single, probably only person on Earth who realized that the whole time. A lot of people suspect it, then just were completely convinced. Many people started killing people for the government, thinking they were saving the world. That's a complete contradiction. You need to understand that's such a necessary statement at this time in history. To kill people for the government to save the world is a complete contradiction. Why? But people are dying all the time. Narendra Datta, I'll just say his name. Maybe he'll try to copyright strike me, even though that's not his real name. That's how things really are. Basically, everything that's ever been reported didn't happen that way. You should be able to process that for the bare amount of declassified information, even like the NSA, before Snowden went berserk, pretended to be a trans woman to gain more notoriety because he wanted to be as respected as Assange, even though he sold everybody out to the government and made the COVID triggers to screen out revolutionaries. Why? Or purely symbolically for a future literary publication. Island of Sleeping Gods, or How Scams and Sales Turned the Earth into a Human Zoo of Fuckery. Please be immediately eviscerated by that title. Why? And honestly, there is an accurate energy. You got me being holed up here in political bumper. Even now, they're trying to sick fucking ash wool on me. I hope he just turns around from hearing how stupid that sounds. Just because I'm sitting in a hotel room talking. That's what it comes down to. I have to keep repeating this. It's ruining the artistic flow. Honestly, my daily flow right now is $20 CAD every couple days. It's they're helping me. But honestly, it's abundantly clear. I was being attempted trafficked the other day when they brought me to the food bank. This guy said, "Look, we're trying to set something up for you." What? That should be all I have to say. But you know what? They're pissed off more than anything that Sam had to rum runner in room 4 in Lunenburg, as if there's such thing as a crime for a hotel guest, even if they were helping me, just by sitting here and saying information on social media. Wife. And it's so silly because they can only hear me if they focus on me. And they don't have to focus on me. Everyone needs to understand this. But people die all the time. This guy Narendra Sradada, he faked a cardiac arrest. It was a real cardiac arrest from like 5 or 10 years ago. He made a different time and date stamp, told all my Facebook friends this guy doesn't understand the true value of a real friend, to discredit me because I didn't want to go see him and didn't care. He was in Australia. And then all my Facebook friends went to vicious plots to try to teach me kindness by trying to kill me. Wife. And I feel like even though this is simple, it's the most direct and genius message ever, because things really are that simple on this planet. I want to repeat, as Mars says, it's okay to be a human being on a planet and be bored. Why? Life is fucking boring and human beings are terrible. I said this to Godman earlier. A perfect example of a Dharma schizophrenic case. And this guy, every time I call out anyone he finds attractive, makes a cop sound effect, which you can probably even hear on the sound file. Because he's old and disabled. It's a great cosmic comedy happening around me at all time. The universe is my orchestra. I'm the greatest revolutionary mystic of all time, and this is what it looks like, so deal with it, spiritual fuckheads. Wife. And that's not what it looks like either, because we're all meant to be unique. UG really meant that. He was the closest one, but I've taken the step beyond, motherfucker. I say that as if he's looking at me from a life tank in a CIA base under the dirt. Wife. Because that really is possible, guys. Things are never reported accurately. But people are really dying all the time. I have to tell you, it's not even tragic. It's hilariously tragic because all human conflicts are pointless and unnecessary. I see things from a top-down perspective like a planetary body, but I'm just sitting here. I know everything. Basically, I want to quote Mars again. Mars is a hilarious planet, and war, from Mars' perspective, because astrology is real, it just means specific coordinates tied to a moment of birth, but we draw a bunch of pictures and symbols like children, and it really is like fairy tale children that are doing this. Wife. Like little crayon drawings. They don't mean anything. All these crayon drawings of gods and goddesses and all these things, they don't mean anything. They're just artistic, archetypal reflections of energies inside nervous systems that are created by shared idea memes. Wife. And I have to say, I'm demanding Grimes as financial compensation for everything I've gone through for your asses. People are dying all the fucking time. I have to say, my dad, during his apparent death at Wing Hospital in Palmer, when he was basically sacrificed for organ trade, apparently by Narendra, a black magic sorcerer of the fucking Lodge of India. I don't know if that's true, but I say things that just come out, and they have the immediate effect that's meant to be necessary. Wife. Like everything in nature, they're meant to just happen. But you guys are trying not to happen all the time, just to make money, grab ass, and get cash. Wife. And it really is that simple. It do be like that, but snake season isn't coming, so of you homosexual rape invader. Wife. I have to say, to quote Mars, the main problem on this planet from a top-down perspective is this thing called business. People are running around thinking they have to do things for no reason. And that is basically, it's that simple. Business is that simple. People are running around thinking they have to do things, getting mad about it, being sad about it, and thinking they have to do more things. Why? I'm not even going to say it involves this paper money I always make fun of, because it is actually that simple. Psychologically, this business thing, that people just think they have to do something and they're mad about it. You don't have to do things. You can deal with the consequences of not doing something. Or as I have to say, people are dying all the time. It's okay to relax, even in order not to die. And it's okay to relax, even if you'll die. Despite the obligation to be stressed out for no reason. Wife. To be innocent in this world means to not do something when you think you have to do it. That's one of the most important actions you can make. And people are dying all the time, I have to say this. I don't cry about it. During my dad's funeral, I was laughing and having a great time. Why? But I cried a lot at the night of his fucking circumcision of his brain. That was clearly some completely sketchy setup by the hospital industry. People are always making me aware exactly of how things operate, and I'm just bumbling around, not knowing what's going on. That's how I see things. And this is the life of the greatest revolutionary mystic of all time. Wife. Because you don't realize it, I've already fucked over all these control systems in so many more incalculable ways than anyone could ever possibly imagine, and I didn't mean to do almost any of it. I obviously I've done it. I'm an anarchist. It's not illegal to be an anarchist. It just means I see things in a different way. But the true illegality is this violent reflex that can't stand difference. Wife. And that's the award, judge, and arbiter of everything that exists. I wrote Your Brother Cuz, but it got hacked up and sludged by Gallagher and Jones, intractable karmic criminals. Grimes, exercise immortal wifey, exact and unforgiving, retribution law. Wife. And I just say, these guys think this guy's going too crazy there. He's having fucking gay parties, having an orgy. We need to get in there. That's what's going through their head. This is what I mean by fuck these fucking homosexuals. Why? I'm not bigoted at all. I don't think about all these people who think they need to be thought about in exactly the right way. I just don't think about them. I don't think. Why? People are dying all the fucking time. I have to say, it's not even a tragedy. If you make yourself too sad about people dying, it makes you an idiot. Why? But that doesn't mean that you should want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to be hurt. I'm an organic creature. I have protective instincts. If anyone tries to kill me, I'll stab them in the fucking jugular. Otherwise, I'm completely non-violent. And when Yuji said that if he was hungry, he would eat you, he didn't mean that, because you can't live off of sawdust and glue. He paid some woman to say that she went to Leningrad or something. And a bunch of nutritional psychologists, as they called themselves then, which would prove it's real, immediately believed that it was a genuine case of a completely new model of nutrition. And he was always pulling stuff like that in his life. But he might be in a CIA life tank buried under northwestern Canada in Vancouver, about 700 kilometers beneath the earth. Or not Vancouver, I'm sorry. They might have moved him. Wife. And even if it's not true, it doesn't matter. Apparently it's illegal to say something not true. I have to repeat a few of these because it's so important. People are saying untrue things literally all day, every day of their lives, in perpetuity for all time. But I don't want to slander the extreme individualist church by using my phrase in perpetuity, because that's copyright infringement on a common legal document term. Wife. I'm comprehensively blasting every fucking iota of every fucking reflex in the socialized fucking system, and it exists inside the brain. It doesn't exist outside. J.D. Krishnamurti was right about pretty much only that, and the rest of the time he was making tons of money and fucking women and then lying about it. Wife. And I want to say something else about U.G. Krishnamurti. One of his best spoofs is he went on the screen completely serious. You have to understand there's only a few fucking like 100 YouTube videos of this guy. A lot of stuff was happening in between the scenes. He'd go on completely serious with sex psychologists, say, look, something cataclysmic happened to my genital regions and my testes during this calamity, and I have a baby penis and I can't have sex now, and I can't even generate sperm. Then he would fuck a bunch of seekers all the time. Wife. But even U.G. Krishnamurti wasn't sure if there's such a possible thing as an actual healthy human relationship. So please marry me, Grimes. But I want to finish my story on people dying all the time. It's very necessary. This whole sentimentality matrix is one of the most delusional things ever, because you have to understand, basically, we're on a planet run by people who just haphazardly and randomly through aristocracies have gotten enough money that they can use serial killer mentalities on an ultimate scale to delude people through their own naivety and trust in good human nature. I used to be naive too, I'm not anymore. Fuck you, naive motherfuckers. Grimes, please marry me.